My name is Maggie and I'm 34 years old. I was born in Syracuse, New York, and later moved to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There's not a lot going on, so a lot of people just get in trouble, and I needed a way out. So I joined the Marine Corps right out of high school, left home, and decided to never look back. I was a 6153 airframes mechanic on CH-53 Echoes and Deltas, and later became a contractor after my service. I did 4 active duty combat deployments and another year-long deployment once I got out. And then I found out I was pregnant with my kids, and I had them, and I decided I just wanted to be a mom, and I wanted to do, what I never really had. I never really had parents to guide me along the way. So I got out of the service, did a year in Afghanistan, and decided to start my life over. And life was going so good. And then I would say about a year ago, maybe a year and a half, I was in the shower and I randomly found a lump in my chest, which is like a freak accident using a washcloth. And so I freaked out a little bit and made my appointment with the VA, and since they're so amazing, I waited 14 weeks and that tumor continued to grow. And then we moved on from there. I got married to the love of my life, and we decided to just take it head on. So I found out that I was diagnosed originally with stage 2 invasive ductal carcinoma, which is basically a long-term for breast cancer. And I had clusters of tumors all through the left side of my chest that continued to grow. And so we saw some of the best oncologists in the world. We drove an hour and a half to every appointment, multiple times a week. My husband's command was so amazing, and they let him stay home with me for a little while to take care of me. So we decided to start with the worst possible way to fix it, which is chemotherapy. So I underwent 4 rounds of AC chemotherapy, commonly known as the Red Devil. It causes heart problems, loss of hair, everything you could possibly imagine. So I went through 4 rounds of that. And then that obviously wasn't going to be enough, so we did 12 rounds of Taxol chemotherapy. It's called Paclitaxel. Each appointment was about 5 hours in a bed, and it made my heart skip beats, my hair fall out, my feet peel, fevers, chills, every kind of infection you could possibly imagine. And so we thought that was going to be it. And then March 11th, 2018, I had a bilateral mastectomy, which removed both sides of my chest. I chose not to spare my nipples because a lot of people don't understand 5% chance is automatically given to you for reoccurrence if you decide to keep them. So I made a really hard choice and decided to just take it all away. And that still wasn't enough. We found out later on with the pathology after my appointment that my tumor continued to grow during the first 16 rounds because it was extremely aggressive. So I was later up to stage 3. And we were a little worried, but my doctor said, okay, we're gonna hit it again. And so we decided to start on another regimen called Xeloda. And so Xeloda is about 4,000 milligrams twice a day. And you are basically taking pills that are straight poison. It is the worst form of chemotherapy I've ever been through. My feet burned, literally burned off. I lost skin. I had heart issues. My fevers would constantly come and go. I had bloody noses multiple times a day. I still don't have nose hairs. It was a little rough. But after hitting it with 5 2-week cycles of that, we found out on August 27th, 2019, that I am currently in remission, which is the greatest feat in the world. And obviously, it's never gonna be over. It's always gonna be like a black cloud following you around, knowing that reoccurrence is very, very possible. But thankfully, I have faith, and I'm gonna live the best life I can possibly live, and I hope that everyone else does too. So when you decide to undergo any type of treatment and it's going to be really, really hard, it is extremely hard on your family. My kids, there were many nights that I would go to cook dinner and I would get so overheated and I would shake that my husband would have to physically carry me and lay me down, but I have the most amazing family in the entire world. My husband is also a United States Marine, and he is full-time logistics officer, constantly working. We're in 29 Palms, the biggest training base. So his command allowed him to come home. He comes home every day at lunch and checks on me. He comes to every single appointment and holds my hand. My kids they're 8 and 9 years old, and I have chosen to be completely transparent with them. So instead of sugarcoating it and just telling them like mommy has a tummy ache. I let them know point blank what's going on every step of the way, what our possible next diagnosis is, what the next possible treatment is, what the side effects will be, how it will affect me. And unfortunately, it was a rough year because I'm an outdoors person. I'm an adventurer. I like to see the tops of mountains and every sunset and every place we possibly can. And this was the first summer in history that I couldn't take my kids to do anything. We went to the pool every now and then, but something as simple as swimming when you're on chemotherapy can get you really, really sick. And my skin would literally peel off in like giant, pieces. So my kids have seen like the worst of it, but I think it made them grow up. But it also made them love life a lot more. If I had to give one piece of advice to anyone about to go through this, I would say you're gonna fight harder than you've ever fought. And excuse me if I get emotional during this, but it's something that, the Marine Corps boot camp didn't prepare me for that at all. I've carried a pack that was, 30 pounds heavier than 30 pounds less than my body weight and gone for 15-mile hikes, and that seemed like nothing. The bone pain feels like you're being crushed alive. So anything you can do for pain management, buck it up and surround yourself with really strong people. Anyone that's negative, people are gonna tell you that a keto diet will fix it, or that there's magical pills you can find on the back page of Amazon, and that's one I actually heard, that will magically cure cancer. And if that was the case, no one would have it, but mentally, you're gonna break. You're gonna break a lot. You're gonna cry more tears than you've ever cried in your life, but every one of those tears will be worth it the day that you get told that it is no longer in your body. And they don't usually say remission anymore. They say you have no evidence of disease. It is a black cloud and it will always follow you, but you live once, so if you are told that you may not be able to live, you need to fight as hard as you can, and you need to make it through and surround yourself with nothing but the best people you possibly can. And it's the only way you'll get through it without physically and emotionally breaking. My name is Maggie Rose Hunchammer Mosier, and I am a cancer survivor.